Hey, badass beautiful coaches. I hope you're having an amazing day and getting everything you need to do done. Or if you're having a disorganized day or have had a few disorganized days, that's actually perfect because I'm about to share a tip with you that will help you to stop experiencing that and help to keep your days organized, get the most important tasks done when you want to get them done, and to impress people like I apparently impressed the last person I was on the phone with. See, during this call, what the person said he was impressed with was how consistent I was. How I followed up when I said I would follow up, I didn't let things slip through the cracks, I was present and reliable. Now, I've seen a lot of coaches and actually other entrepreneurs too complaining that other people often aren't as reliable. I've had people say they will not book a call with me for more than 2 or so weeks out because people never show. And I told them if I book a call with you, unless there's some drastic malfunction in my technology, I will be on the call. So, how am I able to be this reliable? How am I able to be this consistent? Well, it's a simple strategy. I use a calendar app, in my case, Outlook Calendar. Some people use Google Calendar. The important thing is to have some sort of calendar where you can assign each commitment a specific time slot. So that's one step. A couple important other steps you need to take to make this effective are, for one thing, when you make a commitment, put it in the calendar right away. Don't tell yourself, "Oh, I'll remember it. I don't need to write it down." That is one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. How many things have you said, "Oh, I don't need to write it down. I'll remember," only to find that you didn't even remember you needed to remember until it was too late? I know I have. So I have learned it goes in the calendar. If I say I'm going to do it, it goes in the calendar, and I assign it a specific time slot, either when I committed that I'm going to do it, or if I didn't make a specific time commitment. When the first time I think it's going to be able to be fit into my schedule and to be a priority. So that's one important thing, putting it in your calendar as soon as you commit to it, so you actually remember. Another thing is to actually check the calendar regularly. Now, I've had some people say, "Oh, I put it in my calendar, but I forgot to check the calendar." Make a habit of it. First thing each day, look at your calendar to see what tasks have I assigned myself today? What times have I assigned myself to do these tasks? Give each task the amount of time you think it'll take. If you think a task will take an hour, you could say, "I'll do it on Wednesday the 2nd from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock." And when you're scheduling these things, I suggest giving yourself a bit of a buffer time. You don't jam things right one after another, because remember, you are still human, and humans need to pee, humans need to eat, humans need to drink. And sometimes humans just need to let their mind be empty for a little bit, stop thinking nonstop, and take a break. So schedule 10 to 15-minute breaks between big tasks, just to let yourself do what you have to do and rejuvenate. So those 3 steps so far. Put all the tasks in your calendar as soon as you commit to them. Make a habit of looking at your calendar. Put adequate breaks in your calendar to make sure that you don't fall hopelessly behind. And once you've done those 3 things, I think you'll find that you'll be a lot more organized, you'll be better able to keep track of what you're supposed to be doing and when. And understand that, especially if you're using a digital calendar as opposed to a physical one, you can move things around. I think it's easier with a digital calendar just because you can usually drag and drop. It's a little harder to do that with pencil or pen. But the important thing is, if you are having a time when you just really feel like doing a certain task and really don't feel like doing the task that you've assigned yourself for right now, you can switch them around. You can just say, "Okay, you know what? I scheduled an hour to do this thing and then an hour later to do that thing, but I feel like doing that thing, so I'm just going to move it over to this time slot. I'll do that thing now, and the thing I don't feel like doing right now later." Take advantage of those times when you really want to do a certain task and will therefore probably be at your best while doing it. Speaking of being at your best, another tip is if you have a certain time of day when you tend to really be at your best, to have your highest energy, to be more mentally clear, schedule those times with the most demanding or important tasks. What are the highest stakes tasks in your business? What are the ones where you really need to be focused and present and mentally on the ball? Those are the ones that you should schedule for the times when you have the most mental energy to work with. Another way you can use these strategies is to help your clients to use them. Now, how many times have you heard people saying, "Oh, I went through this coaching program, but I didn't really get any results." And then you start to dig deeper into why they didn't get results, and you find out they didn't even do the work. They had the homework, but they didn't do it. They had the action steps, they didn't take them. They had the materials to read, they didn't read them. So this is something that you can incorporate into your own coaching programs and say, "Okay, here's the thing you just learned, here's why it's important, here are the results that you'll get if you actually implement it. Now, please set aside a slot in your calendar to actually implement it. I estimate that it'll take about this long, so set aside this long in your calendar to do it. In fact, before you even finish watching this video, or before you get off this coaching call, or before you finish whatever material in your course they're going through, just set aside that time in your calendar. And also when you're on phone calls with potential clients or with current clients, anytime you're on a call with a person you want to stay in touch with, get onto that calendar and schedule the next meeting. Encourage them to do the same. If you schedule the next meeting while you're actually on the call with them, they're much more likely to actually keep in touch with you instead of slipping through the cracks. So not only is this method helpful for keeping you organized, it's also good for keeping your clients organized and for keeping your business contacts organized and likely to actually follow up with you. So I hope you found those tips helpful. If you found them helpful, or if you have some tips of your own to share, I'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to share in the comments, and in the meantime, I hope you have an amazing day.